goal is to always try to create an environment that's going to give mediation the best possible chance at helping the couple craft an agreement that's going to be fair, that's going to be fast, and that's going to be inexpensive. There are some conditions that, if are present, can make that less possible. We're going to discuss those. First of all, having an adversarial attorney. If you have an attorney that is determined to be adversarial, incidentally, that's what you're paying them to do. If they're not being adversarial, then ultimately they're not doing what you contracted them to do. But some can be more adversarial than others. If they are determined to be adversarial, that is going to make the mediation process very difficult. Many attorneys do not like mediation, and in states where mediation is the law, they simply push their clients through that process very quickly, just so they can get their clients into a trial or a hearing as soon as possible. And that's very unfortunate. If you feel like your attorney is adversarial, that they are not being reasonable and that they're encouraging you too much to be adversarial, you might want to consider that is not going to be in your best interest. The other thing that you need to be mindful of is if either party in the process is absolutely determined to use the process of mediation as a way to vent and punish the other spouse. We always encourage the couples to feel like they have a voice in the mediation process, and to some extent we will allow parties to express themselves, even if that expression is centered around their opinions about the other party and if it's punitive in nature. But we're going to watch that very, very closely, because there's a balance there between allowing somebody to have a voice and allowing somebody to use that process to just denigrate the other person. So if you have a party that is absolutely fixated on just staying in punishment mode, then that's going to cause the mediation process to step backwards. Lastly is if you have a situation where there is a third party that is involved in the mediation process, a mother-in-law, a friend, somebody that is outside of the divorce that has an extraordinary amount of influence, that continues to stir the pot, so to speak. If we identify that is happening, normally early in the intake process for mediation, we try to ask questions to identify if those kinds of individuals are going to be present. Not necessarily physically present during the mediation, but if they're going to be influencing one of the parties in between the mediation sessions, then we want to talk about that, because we don't want to take a step forward in mediation and take 10 steps backwards after we leave the mediation because that third party is trying to stir the pot. Those are some things to watch for when going through the mediation that will stall the process out and ultimately make it less successful.